Hello and welcome, everybody.
Good
As you
morning.
can see, we have our special guest, the very specialist, Barrett Laurie.
I just did a tech fail. I did not have my sound down. Apologies. Amateur
Okay.
hour. Amateur hour.
It is early on Saturday morning,
It is.
so we are not required to be responsible.
This will help.
Hi, Cherry. How are you?
Pretending it's morning. Appreciate.
I mean, you're allowed to, though. You're allowed to sleep all morning.
It's the weekend. I thought you were supposed to.
Yeah, it's required that you do. So,
Right.
hi, Better Days. Welcome. Good morning.
Morning.
We are here getting ready to get ready. I do have the first prompt, so I'm gonna put it in the thing.
Cool. Opening a document so I can write.
I'm gonna put it on a banner too because banners are fun.
Totally. And you guys can write right along with us.
Do it. You will not regret it. So this is our first prompt. And I know I'm kind of jumping right in.
No, I love it.
But
I'm not here for foreplay, Chandra.
We just like to nope.
It's too early. It's too early.
It's too early for that. Anyway.
See the words. I love all the words. Okay. Challenge. All right.
Okay. A romantic scene in an unromantic place. The words to include are blacksmith, tongue, woman, spark, musical, blind, Bible, barbecue, elbow, and bundle.
Enter. Okay.
All right. This is going to be a challenging one. I'm not even going to lie.
There's just one or two words in there that I'm like, how? But I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure out how.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, me too.
And
so
as always,
do you put words like in the top of your doc for easy reference? Like, is that what are your secret tricks here for newbies?
So what I usually do, so I used to do this all in Google Keep, but then it was really hard to mark off the words that I'd already included. So I usually copy and paste this from the comments straight into my Google Doc. And then as I include each thing, I highlight it.
Okay, that's smart.
And then when I'm going back through my story to make sure I have everything, I go back through and I highlight the words in the story to make sure they're all there.
Okay. That's a good way to do it. I can do that. I've got blacksmith tongue. Okay. Getting it.
Also, if you would like, I know we do first come, first serve. Whoever email or messages me their story from the comments on Instagram, I will be happy to share that for you, and we can give some feedback live as well if you like.
Please.
If you just want to send it to me and you don't want me to read it, just put a little blurb at the top and I'll know. And I can send you feedback later. I'm happy to do so.
Oh, that's a good tip. Okay, I like that. Write all the sentences with the words first and then fill in the rest. That's interesting.
I've not done that before.
That's interesting.
And then, Barrett, if you would like, you can also email me and then we'll just switch stories for the critique.
Perfect. No problem.
And then the only other thing that I need to do is I need to pull up a timer. Because we'll start with the 30-minute sprint, and that will be our drafting and revising. Or do you outline when you write flash fiction?
Not flash. Short stories, yes. Flash, no, not usually.
I don't think I've ever. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just said I fly by the seat of my pants.
Children's these days.
Over there.
Yeah, so I don't think I've ever properly written a short story.
What do you mean? Like
I guess I always just write flash fiction. Like I've never written a short story that's
More than 1,000 words.
significantly, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, maybe like a word or two over, but not significantly. And one of my friends has ordered me to write a book or publish one of my books. And I was thinking it might be easier if I just do a collection of short stories so that I can listen to her, but also continue to polish and preen over my precious babies.
Fair.
So if everybody's ready, we can jump on into sprint number 1 with 30 minutes.
All right. Good luck, everyone.
All right. We'll see you on the other side.
All right.
All right, y'all. That was sprint number 1. How did we do? Barrett is almost there.
I'm attaching the document to email you now. So, yeah, I'm doing the tech work, friends. I'm trying to send it. It was good. It was fun. It was less terrifying than I thought it would be.
Oh, I hope not too terrifying.
No. Oh, but hello, Barrett. Must save document and name it first. Okay. Good morning, friends. I'm learning things this morning. File, save as.
Yay, do technology.
I know. It's like, why in the morning? Why? Ricky brought me coffee. How did you do? How did you feel about it?
I, as usual, had no idea where I was going till I was about halfway through. And then I was like, this is good.
See, I had the opposite. I didn't know where I was going till halfway through, and then I went, this is bad. I'm glad I got all those words in early.
Oh my gosh. I'll be the judge of that.
Okay, it is on its way. Ta-da.
So we've got Cherry in the comments with some suggestions. Yes.
Yay,
Really
Richard showed up. Oh, Martin.
in a good time.
Eva.
No outlining. Better days. Let's go. Yes. Just in case. Welcome. Good to see you again. Hi, cousin. Susie, my brain's a pain. I love the... Hi, buddy.
Suey is one of my absolute favorites. And she's had some strokes, so that is why the brain's a pain.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but she's overcome and
yeah.
So yeah.
Out here killing it.
Totally.
Hi, Eva. Welcome. And Suey, sorry I can't read.
It's early for us. Oh, look at Dobby. I just love this. Dobby's like, now's a good time for me.
He really is, though. Until he gets mad at me and like tries to bite me or something. And he usually doesn't bite me hard. It's usually just like, I don't know if you can see this, but he's like an entire loaf right now.
Oh, like he's doing his self-care and we're just here for it.
Such a goober. Hi, buddy. At least he's not trying to... I don't want to jinx myself. Never mind.
I was going to say, don't say it because that pause right there to just get you in the face if you try it.
Maggie's here. Richard. Hi, Richard. Welcome. And Cherry says, what a mess. Uh-oh. How do we feel about this prompt? How did everybody do?
Yeah, what were the feelings, everybody?
You said it was a little rough for you, Barrett.
You know what it was? I was so focused on getting the word. Like, you'll see this when you read it. All of my words are in like the first 3 paragraphs. And then like the rest of my story happens. So like, I think I felt more pressure to get the words in. I feel like it's one of those things, as you do, you get better at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you get more used to the format. So you'll see it when you read it. You'll be like, I see what he did here.
So my thing was that I had the idea of where to put most of the words early on. And then I got stuck on 2 of them.
I had 1. So I was like,
what do?
I did a pretty big cheat on 1 word, which again, you'll see. But
well,
we'll see what the audience thinks about the cheat.
Natalie and I both have different ways of doing that because she will modify the words.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't do that, but I wanted to. I wanted to like make 1 plural, and like.
Yeah, so she does that, or she'll change the tense or whatever. And I'm like, nope, how it's written is how it goes. So sometimes I beat myself up with that. Yeah. And it makes the story a little less pretty, but yeah, that's part of the challenge for me.
Totally.
You cannot eat that, sir.
Medieval until you get to the barbecue. You know what's funny? I kind of thought the same thing, Richard. I was reading this whole thing. I was like, this could be a wonderful like medieval story. But barbecue was the one thing where I was like, unless we're burning someone at the stake, I don't know that barbecue would have been a thing in medieval times. So.
That's a mood.
I know. And I'm not sure that's the feel-good story you guys are here for this morning.
Even said, see, Barrett, speed writing during a sprint this early in the morning was my sprint.
I know, right? Everyone's going to be amazed that I actually write occasionally.
That's fabulous. And Eva got set up for a critique read, killing it out here. Richard said, I wish I was as productive as Barrett at 8:30 on a Saturday. Usually I'm barely functioning at this time.
You guys were up late, though. Richard was up on college stream and then came over for Martin and I for a little while. So he was up kind of late. So mad props.
Oh, welcome, Martin Lejeune. Let me know if I said that correctly.
Lejeune. I
Lejeune.
learned last night. I with a name like that, he must be French. And there is some French in there. So I was glad.
Very cool. The cats and feline overlord, and we can see this amazing loaf.
You get the arms out was where it was for me, where he was just like, no.
Now he's like trying to get comfortable, but he also wants to eat all the chargers and electronics on my desk. So to be fair, that's how we initially met. I went to the rescue and he climbed up into my lap and started chewing on the buckle of my purse. And I was like, this is the one for me. Because for me, purses are disposable, but do not touch my shoes.
Oh, Martin. I know. I tease.
All right. So I have sent you.
Yes.
My it's just in the body of the email. So like do with it what you will.
Okay. How does this work? Do I read it? Do you read it? And then
we do a 10-minute
read
critiques. Yeah, we both get the time to just read through it and make any notes that we want to.
Okay.
We do favorite line, least favorite line.
Oh my gosh, I realized I just did a dumb and didn't actually put the prompt in my story. I wrote it around a romantic scene in an unromantic place.
No, you can do that.
Okay, I was like, gee, mini Christmas, I just messed that up. I am.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's I'm like literally like if it's on the page, I'm putting it in there. But
got it.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, we'll take 10 minutes, and if you get done before the 10 minutes is up, you can just drop something in the chat, and then we'll go straight into the critique part of the sprint. So let me get this shared on the screen. And we'll have 10 minutes.
Martin, it was because my mom liked Elizabeth Barrett Browning and read that poetry while she was pregnant with me. That is who I am named after. Although she cannot remember a poem by her, so it feels less special. But I'm not bitter about it. Don't think about it or bring it up to her every time it's here. I'm glad we brought it up.
Love it.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, and 1. All right. That was our 10 minutes to review and prep for feedback. How do we feel?
I'm shooketh by your work, let's just say. And I have one note. One in the whole piece. So well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Brava. Yeah. So what's next, fearless leader?
So we usually just switch off and
Okay.
like I'll read your story and then you could read mine. But I'll read yours first,
Okay.
and we can do if you like, and then
Oh,
we
no,
can
that's
just
fine.
talk about it.
Mine's gonna need some work. So lead with the work. Yours is quite simple. I have one note in the first line. Otherwise, I don't have anything to say. So
I did notice in the comments, Eva's short microfiction with the prompt.
Oh, did she do it? Hang on, I didn't
Yes.
see it. I gotta go back. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Is that not fabulous? I love that like a third of the words are in this, but it's great.
I mean, it's something. Musical, not in it. It's not romantic. Listen, mine is very romantic either. But wait until you hear Chandra's, because I was literally saying, like, I don't know how you could make this medieval. I'll show you in the next segment. But
oh my gosh. Well, I'm loving all the new faces in the comments. I see Allie came by and we were talking about health food, homeopathic lies. Listen, don't get me started.
It's
And Novel Nana's written the prompt down. I'm going to try writing it later after the coffee.
Cool.
Alrighty, so I will jump in and I will be reading Barrett's flash fiction on prompt number 17.
Hold on, y'all.
You ready to take some notes?
I'm ready. I'll have my notebook open. I'm set.
You're really not going to need that.
Oh, well, I'm still ready.
All right. Awake is an odd place to meet your match, but can anyone really choose where Cupid finds them? Damien Blacksmith had been blind to all the suitors that thought he was marriage material. His life had been changed by the word, and Damien found comfort and solace in the Bible, not in the arms of another. The musical interlude served as a welcome break from the small talk and elbow rubbing among the attendees. Damien couldn't help but wonder how many of the attendees were actually there to honor Jeremiah Woodley's life, and how many were there to network at his family's expense. Tacky, he thought. This is a wake, not a barbecue. Damien bit his tongue and decided to sit down to wait for the service to begin. He chose an empty pew in the back of the chapel. A woman caught Damien's eye the moment she breezed into the room. Under her left arm was a bundle of photographs. She scanned the room before making her way to the guest registry table. She delicately laid out several photographs from her collection and then surveyed the room again before locking eyes with Damien. The moment itself couldn't have lasted more than a few seconds, but the spark that Damien felt deep in his soul couldn't be ignored. The woman made her way to his pew and sat down next to him. She smelled as good as she looked, like lavender and fresh linen. "Did you know Jeremiah?" she asked. "He was my mentor and a dear friend. How did you know Jeremiah?" "He had an affair with my mother, and I'm the result. But I owed it to him to show up today," she said. "I had no idea. I think it's great that you came to honor his memory," Damien replied, trying to calm some of her obvious anxiety. "Funerals are bad enough when you're not the spawn of the affair that rocked his life. Makes me wish I wasn't single. Any chance you would like to play house with me for today?" Damien was unprepared for both the brutal honesty and the proposition. Yet he found himself wanting to fill in as her boyfriend for the day. Something about her made him want to fill in as her boyfriend after today ended. Without saying a word, he slid his left arm around her, drawing her close to him. She sank into his embrace like a puzzle piece that had always been missing. It may not be real, but the connection was, and the support in the moment filled the void within them. Who's to say awake is an odd place to meet your match?
There you go. By the way, I accidentally dropped your email, but retracted it because Eva put in where the flash is supposed to be sent to. So it was there for a second. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
So send it to the link that Eva put in the chat, friends. Eva knows what she's doing. Barrett does not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's fine. No worries.
Yeah. It's not in the chat. I removed it within a minute. So sorry about that.
Hey, as long as it doesn't pop up on the screen, then nobody will see it, right?
Yeah. Sorry. Next time use your home address. I'll just put that out there. Just mail it to your home. Here you go. Here's where you send it, friends.
Anyway, I'm moving. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry. So give me your worst. So I couldn't use blacksmith, as you could tell. So I cheated and used it as his last name.
I don't think that's cheating.
It felt like a cheat. So
I don't know. I'll allow it. I feel like I kind of did the same thing.
Oh no. We'll read yours and we'll see how blacksmith should have been used in a sentence.
So my favorite line. Well, let me start with the harsh feedback.
Yeah, kill it.
The line that I struggled with was actually 2 sentences. Yet he found himself wanting to fill in as her boyfriend for the day. Something about her made him want to fill in as her boyfriend after today ended. I found that a little clunky and hard to read.
Yeah, I heard you clunk over it a couple times as you read it. So yes.
What I would have liked is something along the lines of, yet he found himself wanting to fill in as her boyfriend for the day, and maybe, a little longer or, beyond that or something like that, just to where it's all one sentence.
Yeah.
And doesn't start out the same. Because that's where, the first time I read it, I was like, did he mean to write the same sentence twice? And then I was like, oh, it's not the same sentence.
No, I was trying to make it repetition as a callback to the opening and the ending being a callback to each other, and it didn't work as well as I wanted.
But
we're at the end of this, friends. Apologies.
You still have the callback with the opening line and the ending line, which I thought was perfect. But by far, my favorite line of the whole thing is, "This is a wake, not a barbecue." I love it. I love it. It's like the shade and the I'm back here judging everyone.
Am I the only one that's been to a funeral though where you've had that feeling where you look around and you're kind of like, are these people here because they're sad they died, or are they here to network with people?
Oh no, this was 100% both my grandfather and my grandmother's funeral, because they were pretty big where they were. And at my grandfather's funeral, someone said to my grandmother, "Oh, Sheila, when you die, can I have those lamps?" And I didn't kill her, so that was good.
I'm in shock of I'm sorry, what?
Who are you?
Ma'am, do you know where you are?
So pretty much for both of them afterwards, all the my brother and my sister and I, we just went and hid in the basement and didn't, because that's the thing, it is awake. Everyone stays at the house and comes by at all hours bringing food. Yeah. So we would just one person would be the sacrificial lamb to go up and get more wings. Come back down. To be fair, I think it's in that context for my family specifically, it ended up working out because it gave us the chance to bond, and it made us a united front against the enemy of the general public.
Yes, I concur. I do think that's a feeling in the funerals. So I love the feedback. Clunky lines. Was there anything else that you'd give me that I could do better in the future? Because I felt like I packed all of my words in the front end and could have, when I read yours in a minute, people are going to see how one peppers those words throughout the entire story instead of in the first 3 paragraphs.
I didn't feel like they were off.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like you saw mine. I have most of them in the first couple paragraphs and then 2 at the end. And I think it's fine. I actually really liked the story, and I do think it's a romantic scene in an unromantic place. So I think you captured the essence of the prompt, and
Okay.
I feel really good about it.
Okay. Well, not as good as I feel about yours. Are we ready for it?
I think we're ready.
Okay. Hold on tight. So this is how this should have been done, everyone. So sit back and then relax for a tale. Here we go. I like to remember the way I first met her. A romantic scene in an unromantic place. She had barbecue up to her elbow, devouring it with a blind lust for life. She was alone in the field, red stains on her white dress, the woman of my dreams. I didn't know if she saw me. In any other context, the thought never would have entered my mind. Who could fail to notice the blacksmith, with the spark of metal on metal flying from his hammer? I was considered legendary. And who was she, this goddess of the night, whose musical tongue wove lyrical speech in a spell that bound me to the place where I stood like chains of iron? I dropped to my knees, arms spread wide, my hammer trailing on the ground. My lady, I live to serve you, I said. She stood before me on the battlefield, littered with the burnt corpses of the enemy, and I, unknowing, unaware of the space in which I existed. Was she the enemy I was fighting? She walked towards me with easy confidence, cat-like and proud. I know, she said, and the words released me from her binding spell. Who are you? I asked. Have you not read your Bible? She asked, a saccharine sweet smile curving her red lips. She threw a bundle at my feet. Put these on. It was the finest chainmail I, a blacksmith, had ever seen. Then I saw the leather-studded collar. I belonged to her, but I did not mind. I put it on too. I have not read the Bible, I said, pulling the metal shirt over my head. Yet you wear my mark, she asked, her eyes flicking to the slash of cuts on my chest. Her smile had faded, brows pinched together as her hand caressed the side of my face. Anything for my lady, I said. There was no sweetness in her smile this time. She took the lead of my collar in hand and started back toward the dark forest, leaving the field of dead behind us. Call me Lilith, she said, pulling my lead, and I followed. The prose, thank you, Eva. That's what I was waiting for. Anyone who can do that in 30 minutes with all that, I'm just like, oh, I'm so glad I went first. Loved it. The only thing I would have said the only note I would have given, truly, because it was pretty much perfection throughout, the only thing I would have said is, at the beginning, I would have just adjusted the first line. You say, I like to remember, but it seems like such a monumental thing. I would make it like a I can't forget, or something like more forceful. So it's more than just something you like look back on. It's like, this was the moment that changed my life forever, because that's what it felt like to me by the end. I was like, wow, this is like, you're not in Kansas anymore on that collar being let off into the wood. So that, but other than that, could anybody else think of anything they would add to that beautishness? No. I see all love. Thank you, Maggie. This was my point. Stunning. Thank you, Richard. I try following that. It's like, when you come on this show, go first. Take a tip from a pro. Go first.
So I like that. I do think that's good. That's good feedback. I will say there was a note that I wanted to mention, and I don't know that this was very clear. Where was it? The chains of iron. So I wanted to imply, and I don't know that this was very clear, but I wanted to imply that he's Fae.
Oh,
and
okay.
That's why the reference to it being bound like chains of iron. So I wanted it to be that they are equals.
Okay.
So not that he was being drawn from a human mortal life, which is why he's the legendary blacksmith.
Right.
But that he's actually in his own right a mythical being with his own measure of power.
Okay. That's okay. I love that.
But I don't know if that comes through in the story, and that would be one thing that I would want to come through.
That did not jump out to me. Did anybody in chat? Did that jump out to them? I didn't see it, but I see it now. So what would you do differently? Just add a sentence to that?
Yeah.
Hey, Laura.
Maybe at the beginning to mention something about the reason he's remembering it is because he's been alive for so long that he's seen a lot of things, so that it becomes not just an unforgettable moment, but he's seen so many things that the fact that a memory stands out to him is surprising to him.
Yes. That would be lovely. Listen, the prose is, I keep rereading it and I'm just like, here's the line that did it for me. That was just magic. And who was she, this goddess of the night, whose musical tongue wove lyrical speech in a spell that bound me to the place where I stood like chains of iron?
I was not sure if that was too much. I was like, am I doing?
I'm sorry, ma'am. Too much? We don't do that here.
I have been known to be a bit purple. To be fair, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I would say stay okay with that. That was wonderful. And if someone doesn't like it, an editor or whoever can say, maybe this is too much. And then ultimately you should decide for yourself, because that was stunning. I just sat and read that and was like, oh, Lord, this is why I write contemporary right there.
Y'all are too kind. Are we saying she was lampooned? Why did I put National Lampooned in there?
I know. No, I caught that. I was like, oh, vacation. I see what you're okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, let me reread it. I missed that. Did I?
Oh, no, they were talking about Eva's news story. Woman bludgeoned with a lamp at wake.
Oh.
And that's why Maggie said, are we saying she was lampooned?
Got it. Okay.
Or is it lampooned? Lampooned or lampooned?
Lampooned? I don't know.
I feel like either one works, and that very easily could have been what had happened.
Oh, here Eva says, if the only feedback is too much prose, ignore it. They aren't the target reader. If the feedback is this prose is too much because, then maybe give it a moment of reflection, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think that's always fair. I've always told people, if I'm your critique partner and I give you feedback, I'm usually going to give you feedback with something that I would suggest. If I don't, then I'm probably not giving it to you, just because then I'm not the person to give you that note, right? Like there will be somebody who has an idea for it.
Oh, that's fair. I like it.
That's the way I work. Now, Moon will tell you I just take a month to get the feedback back, but I promise.
You're already doing better than I am. Don't ask Laura how long it's taking me to get all the feedback.
We won't bring it up, Laura. It's not even happening. We're not even talking about it right now.
The comments about the whole wake situation, y'all just give me life, and it's a whole entire mood.
I love Landis's comment. Living so long might lose the taste of life. They might be bitter when seeing mortals. That's an interesting, that's an interesting concept too. I like that.
Oh yeah, I like it.
That's like a deeper note. I love that.
Y'all are fabulous. Laura's out here laughing.
Laura, because Laura knows. Because here's the deal. If Moon Petrie was in this chat right now, she'd be like, listen, bruh, I sent that to you September 27th. What is today? And I'll be like,
oh no.
I keep doing these subtle stories on Instagram to be like, maybe she'll see it and won't be as mad.
Oh gosh. I mean, I definitely have told on myself. I'm not gonna lie, but are we related?
Yes.
Oh dear.
Yes, we are. Twins, actually. No, that's not true. You're much younger than I. Speaking of, let's talk about those birthday photos real fast.
Okay.
Stunning. How about the one where I left the comment, ma'am, there's a fire and you started it?
I saw that last night and I was like, But
you did. Wowza, that dress, ma'am.
The whole thing, everything that had happened, I owe the big thank you to Arnold, who's tagged on my Instagram. I haven't posted the fancy ones on Instagram, which I need to do, but he was the the conductor, the planner, the stylist. He did my outfits.
Wow.
He found the makeup artist. He found the location.
Fire.
He recommended the photographer. Pictures would not have happened without Arnold. So
well, Arnold did some things, because I was
yes.
like, how's that?
Yes. And I can't thank him enough. He was fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
Richard said, "Oh, I'd see them bear at Laurie, but I'm too passive aggressive to act on them if it were me." Well, here's the thing: she's not actually on social media, so it's sort of like it's sort of a way for me to cleanse my own soul. But I love that. I think once you get past 8 weeks, you're allowed to start cyber stalking your beta readers in silent judgment.
It is, to be fair, it is something that I have added to my list for next year of exactly how many projects I can take on, and then I can give an accurate timeline of when I can get the feedback back. So, thank you, Laura, for allowing me to learn that. And I'm sorry.
And for loving us through it, Laura.
Yes.
Thank you for loving us through it.
All of that. And Novel Nana, have a good breakfast.
Nana, appreciate you.
Y'all are so nice. Y'all just make me feel real special. I think once you get past, that's what you're reading. That was definitely also me with when I had my birthday pictures taken, because those were taken the day after my birthday, and I got them back last week. So it was like it really wasn't that long, 3 weeks, because I know for some places it's like 3 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So I didn't say anything, and she texted me first, and she was like, "Thank you so much for your patience." And I'm like, I wasn't.
I know. Oh, Laura.
You're the best.
That's why you're one of my peeps, Laura Nettles, because you forgive.
But I swear, I'm gonna do that next. All right, so for the next prompt.
Yep.
I've never done this part of the process before. Maggie sent me a story.
Yes.
So let me read that first. Okay. I remember our first kiss. It was on the church steps with a plate of food in my lap. The church picnics were always the source of the best food, but all that changed when the blacksmith started making custom barbecues and smokers. Every Sunday, all summer, the trailers would arrive at dawn to the Bible-thumping musical revival church supper party, bringing their bundles of special wood and all the best meats. Sides were always elbow macaroni salad and coleslaw with cornbread muffins. One particular Sunday, Mr. Morton and Mr. Dashel had both made beef tongue, and it was practically a riot over whose was the best. I didn't taste it. Grammy said never eat something that can taste you back, so I chose the turkey legs. Love it. But the biggest surprise was the sauce old Miss Lilith brought.
Did she use it too?
Yes.
Love it.
It was sweet and savory, and something in it just made you want more. The adults were arguing, the children were napping, and I was sitting next to Jared Hamish eating smoked turkey legs with cups of sauce poured over them. Suddenly there was a commotion, and the pastor's wife was kissing the choir director, and they weren't the only ones. I looked over at Jaron, in shock, and then he reached up with the wipe of smeared up the sorry. But then he reached up and wiped the smear of sauce from my chin with his thumb. I sucked off the sauce when he held it to my lips. Then we were kissing. The following months held no more church dinners as a rash of divorces and tort affairs swept our little town and divided the church community. It was so bad, the Southern Baptist Council sent out mediators and marriage counselors, but it was for naught. Everyone who kissed that day after having some of Miss Lilith's magical sauce, got married eventually. When the deacon from the SBC demanded to know what was in it, the old woman only cackled and told him it was magic and fate putting things right after a rash of socially acceptable marriages ruined the loving family split spirit of our town. 50 years later, sometimes I can still remember the taste of Miss Lilith's sauce on Jaren's lips and hear her laughter when I kiss my husband. That is fabulous.
Maggie, I just have to say this off the top. As someone who's raised in the SBC, and most of my family left SBC when my fabulousness became fabulous publicly, there was so much tea spilled all over this story on that church. I don't even have enough bounty paper towels to clean that up. And I was here for it, and I loved every second of it. I just had to lead with that. Like, I felt I was seen. I saw a lot of people I knew in that story.
That also, I love the use of elbow in this context and not being an actual body elbow.
Yep.
I think that's great. I love it. I also love that we both used Lilith in our story.
Totally. I don't even know what. Yeah, that was absolutely brilliant. And the Lilith reference in both was chef's kiss. And I loved how you did it medieval and she did it contemporary. Like,
yeah, that was fun. I love that.
Yeah, Cherry, exactly.
The minister's wife kissing the choir director.
Right? I mean, listen, I was just sitting there thinking to myself, you know, what's funny about this is about 3 years before I came out, I'll be darned if we didn't have one of those scandals in our church where our choir director and the wife, and then they got together, and then it turned out the choir director that we all knew was a gay, and there was a lot there.
Oh, snap.
And Lilith's sauce wasn't anywhere to be found.
I am...
Oh, bless Maggie. I needed that today. Thank you.
That was good. I probably should have opened this document sooner, but I didn't, and here we all are.
Sheldon Cooper. Oh.
Okay, here we go. We have pre-made writing prompt.
Oh.
Y'all pick a number between 1 and 82.
Okay. 1 and 82. Throw 'em at us. Richard has a document open, which means he'll be writing with us, which
yes,
I'm excited about.
I'm here for it.
You've got this, Richard. And Cherry, I saw that you started one that you were going to send to us, but you dumped it. Don't do it next time. Send it to us.
Yeah.
We want to read. If you're comfortable. No pressure.
Do it.
Ooh, all the numbers. Oh, Eva, of course. God bless you.
What have we got?
72, 40, 42. So I get to pick from these. Let's do 42.
42? Okie dokie.
Although Eva's is funny. Following the Southern Baptist Church. That's the number we should have chosen.
Was it 666 or something along those lines?
69.
I'm literally a 9-year-old boy.
100%.
I don't remember where I was, but I had real inappropriate laugh at something like along those same lines, and I'm still okay. Now we need
you. Good story. We love you. She's going to feed the goats.
Oh yay! Thank you for writing and sharing your story with us. That was fabulous, and have fun with the goats.
We love you. Tell them hi.
Now we need letters A through S.
Letters A through S. Give us a letter.
And numbers 1 through 50. Okay. So just pair those two together.
Perfect.
And just call them out for me, and I will grab them.
Okay. Seeing letters. All right. The first one I see is F15. F15, bingo.
All right. We got word number 1.
Now I'm curious to know everyone's like why they chose the numbers they chose. Like, is it lucky numbers? I'm just curious. But We'll get to that later. But
Barrett, you can throw some in here too.
ooh, okay. Just you want me to throw out random letter combinations?
Random letter and number combinations, as long as it's
L13 and
L13.
Yep. Q33. B17. And let's do J42.
Q33.
Yep.
All right, I got Q33. What was the next one?
Did we do L13?
L13. Yes, we got that one.
Okay, B17.
B17 bomber. Hold on one second. We got it.
All right. What about R42? As 42 is the ultimate answer to life and the universe and everything.
R42.
Okay.
Got it.
Perfect. And let's do, how about G16?
G16.
How many more do we need? 4?
Let's see. Let me count them up.
Yeah.
Yes, 4 more.
4 more. Okay. Let's do A49.
A49.
H12.
H12.
U1. And R5.
You said E1?
U, as an undertaker.
Okay, so we have up to S.
Oh, up to S. Okay,
Mhm.
sorry, friends. How about S1?
S1.
And then how about R5 for the last?
R5.
Undertaker was the first thing that popped in my mind. I don't know. All right, we're in that headspace today.
I love it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We are good to go. All right, so this is our second prompt with our words to include. And I'm going to here we go. And I'm going to drop it in the chat as well.
Let me get my words. Oh boy.
Eva, L as in lamp, U as in undertaker. Eva's not done with that one.
No.
I love it. Good morning, Shay. How are you?
Hey, Shay. Smooth, blush, give, freeze. Oh, I put bush. So let's do blush. And then
Or you could throw
I
in
already see where that story is going to go. Give, freeze, bust.
Okay.
Okay.
I think with that, we are ready to go.
Cool.
Leave that. I'm just closing one of the 11 million tabs that I have open. And we'll get this timer going. BT Dubs, the timers are from Laura Nettles. So if you like these timers and you want more timers, go follow Laura and
her journey to publication.
yes,
she's
that
on it.
too.
Shay, we feel that. We woke up and we said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to write flash fiction on camera.
And then we panic wrote real
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah. Exam Sanders was amazing. So, but that's okay. That's okay. We're here for round 2. We're gonna level up, everybody. Who's got your documents? We're ready for you to write.
Jump on in there. The prompt is in the chat. Let me see if I can pin it so that
Richard Holiday. I'm blushing and ashamed about having my bush trimmed, but I did. And it's now out from under a beanie after far too long.
Okay. Y'all, that is not, when I hear bush, that is not where, anyway.
Yep. Nope.
Chandra's a perp.
Not that kind of show. It's a family show this morning.
All right, y'all. If we're ready, we're going to start this sprint in 3, 2, and 1. Y'all, yuns, yous. How'd everybody do? How are we feeling?
I went to a very dark place, and it was fun.
I like it. I like it. I also went dark.
I mean, I wish I could say that shocked me. I feel like dark is more shocking from you than me, from me than you.
Yeah. I like the prompt. I wasn't sure about all of the words that we had to use.
Which word was your hardest, just out of curiosity?
I forgot to give till the very end. And I did a quick search and I was like, oh, I thought that one would just naturally roll in there.
Yeah.
But no.
I too had to do a quick search. I will tell after what I had to search because I had a thing, one of those writerly things where you're like, if the FBI is watching my search, just kidding. So good morning, Devin. Good to see you. Delightful.
Hi,
Devin.
hello.
So I think for those asking, I think what we're doing is copying and pasting into a DM to Chandra on Instagram. So at @CCanWrite.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that is how we do round here's. Instead of giving out Chandra's email in chat like I did.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Way to go, CB. Good job.
I feel like a lot of people came in while we were writing.
Yes, I know I saw Margaret pop in and Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And then Devin,
Hello,
of course.
welcome.
CB. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. I can't wait to read what you wrote, Richard.
I am just...
Oh, yes, the write-a-thon today, friends.
Yes. I forgot about that. That is happening.
Yes, yes. So check out Devin's playlist for all the things.
You're in a different time zone from me.
Me, yes. I'm an hour behind you.
Okay. I was just like, oh my gosh, you've got to go. It's 11 o'clock.
No, I'm an hour behind you. Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
We did.
Oh. Let's see where we are. Ooh, Cherry says that went better than I thought.
Yes.
I almost gave up. I'm glad you didn't give up.
Listen, I tried to put Bush in my story, y'all. And then I was like, it's blush. It's blush. And so that was the one that I got tripped up on because I had Bush in the story and then had to go back. I was like, ugh.
I think they're pretty good with that. First time I've seen you here. Sam, subscribe. Oh, yay. Welcome. People finding each other, making connections. Look at you go. Yeah. I'm just quickly scanning through the comments.
CB doesn't have an Instagram. You can email it to me, CB. I'll put my email in the chat and I can send it to Chandra because mine's public. So just send it here, CB, and I will send it over to Chandra.
Oh, hi. Thank you. Nothing better than nose boops from your cat.
Right.
Laura fed Roy and is giving him snuggles while he drives from his bath. Oh, that's so cute.
Thanks for sharing the link, Devin.
All right. Done, even if it butchered my formatting.
Martin.
I will go check that. I'm gonna jump right into it so that we can read maybe a couple extra stories because I think we'll have a little bit of extra time.
Love it.
So we're gonna take our 10-minute break.
Okay.
Where we can read each other's stories and do the things. If I can just find a timer, because I'm good like that. And then, we'll be right back. So if you get done early and you're ready to come back early, you can just drop something in the comments or give me a thumbs up.
Sweet. Okay. Here we go, friends.
We are sharing. We're sharing. I'm really just so glad that they finally added the autofill for the share audio tab.
I'm loving how we were in a similar mind meld now that I am opening your document.
Is it?
My early lines are going to be feel very familiar.
Well, I'm so excited. All right, we are reading in 3, 2, and 1. All right, if you're ready, I am.
I'm ready. I'm going to forward you over the one I received.
Okay.
Also, So emailing you one. Chandra, whoa. Whoa, ma'am.
Yeah, I went a little dark or whatever.
You did, but I'm okay with it. Like it shook me.
So would you like to go first or would you like me to go first?
How about I read yours first?
Okay.
Just again, I feel like the world should experience what I experienced, and I want to bring it to them. Okay, tell me when you're ready.
Ready.
She was up before sunrise, wrapped in her robe as she padded across the smooth bamboo floors. She listened to her husband, Gil, brag about her to his co-workers over the phone as he packed himself his lunch and the thermos of hot coffee into the bus. He was on his way to pick up the crew in the truck, really, but since he always gave them a lift to and from work, it had been given the name. Vi was always up with him when he left for work, always made him enough coffee to share, and always said goodbye to him at the kitchen door. A blush crept across her cheeks, listening to his glowing praise. Then she shivered and wrapped her robe a little tighter to ward off the cold. She had been waiting for the first freeze, but now that it was here, she was just a bit less excited. It was early, and though the stars had gone, the moon smiled from a clear, dark sky. She watched the headlights blink behind the trees that lined the drive and watched them as they moved toward the next lane, their neighbor's house, Gil's best friend. She turned to go inside. The overhead light winked out. A shove caught her from behind. She sprawled across the floor, sliding into the kitchen cabinets, hitting them hard. In the dim glow of the moon, she could just make out the shape of his face, but she couldn't be sure. The pale nightlight came on as she pulled herself away from the shadowy figure, trying to reach the phone mounted on the wall. Gil, she cried. She knew he was too far away to hear her, and he wouldn't be back till just before sunset, but all she could think was she didn't want him to find her like this, beaten, leaving a bloody mess on the kitchen floor. She always did her best to give him a warm, loving home, and she didn't want him to go on thinking his best friend was truly there for him, when he was the one who stood over her, ready to snuff out her life. Somehow, she missed it in the struggle, but when she caught the sound, she fought harder, holding her nightgown down, clinging to the belt of her robe, kicking at his shins as she screamed. She wasn't expecting the spray of blood across her face, the keening hum in her ears, the flash of white light, the weight of a body as the black-clad figure collapsed over her, hot, tacky liquid spilling down her neck and matting her hair. She lay stunned till the body rolled away, and Gil lifted her into his arms. He wrapped his coat around her shoulders and carried her out into the night. Boom. Friends, boom. That's how you murder somebody. Stunning, loved it. I the only feedback I would give, because again, well done, love your prose, love your narrative voice. I had to read it twice to catch that it was Gil's best friend, but it was probably just because I read it too quickly the first time. When I went back and read it more slowly, I got it 100%. But again, Cherry's reaction was my reaction to just being like, whoo. So I'm fascinated, the idea for the story, because I love the idea of it being his best friend. My assumption is that Gil got to his house and he wasn't there, and something felt wrong, and so he went home.
Yes.
Is that a good assumption?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I also figured out when I was reading yours that I misunderstood the assignment and did before sunrise and didn't do both, where you fit in both sunrise and sunset.
So I wasn't sure that I was going to do both.
Okay.
It just, girlfriend, watch that.
Yeah. Name writer Sam. That was a heck of a story, and I'm telling you, you got the prose and that voice for days and days and days.
So, I was worried that it wouldn't be clear that it was the best friend. So I think in the future, I would have actually named him. Well, not in the future, but if I had a little more time, I would have actually named him. But I couldn't think of a name. Yeah. I actually even went back and named her.
Yeah.
And so I think that would make a big difference of having the clarity of each character having a name, because it would be easier to say, Bill, that was Bill.
Yeah. I had that moment where I was reading it, and at first I thought random assailant, And then the second time I read it, I thought, oh, damn, no. It's like, and then I thought, well, maybe she thinks it's him, right?
Mhm.
Like she's seeing the best friend, but it's not really. But no, I think when I read it the second time, I was like, no. She meant for the Vi to know who's about to kill her.
Mhm.
And I loved it. What did chat think?
Let's see.
Get close so I can see because I'm.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to declare that at the beginning of that, I had to go back in and mess with my font size and style because I could not read. And I was like, oh, cool. I need new glasses.
Yeah. I probably used a weird font too because I should have done it. What can I say? I'm a lemon. Oh, Richard, no, you're not.
I wish I could see the text because I missed her being inside, or was she inside the whole time? She was inside the whole time.
The shove happened. That was me reading too fast the first time. But she's standing on the porch and then she's turning to go back inside, and the assailant shoves her. And my assumption is they take out the light and then shove her. Is that right?
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah.
But I also wanted that bit to be a little hazy. Yeah. Because in an attack, you wouldn't necessarily logistically know everything that happens when it happens. It's just kind of.
I think it read that way. It read kind of chaotic and like unexpected. And we go from like her thinking through like, oh, it's the first freeze of the year and cold sucks. And like, you're in like this happy state of like, oh, I'm sending him off to his wonderful day. And then all hell breaks loose.
Mm-hmm.
So, I loved it.
And yeah, the sunset part, I think it was sunrise/sunset. So it was really, take your choice. Yeah. I like to include everything from the prompt. So
well done.
That's a personal problem. Y'all are doing like, you don't have to do that.
I broke a Natalie rule in mine where I made plural some of the words. So I didn't leave them as singular. So
yeah, and that's fine. I mean, you can totally change the tense or like, switch them around as long as like the root word is the same is the main thing.
Yes.
And Richard says, I forgot to do. Yeah, you didn't forget to do sunset. Not having sunset is fine. Also, mine could be a lot better if I had more time to revise. Honestly, I think going back and revising these, it's a lot of fun. And especially like once you had the feedback and everything, it's like, oh, yes. Cool. Like now I know what to do. Or even just hearing the conversation about like what everyone would change. Yeah. I feel like that gives a lot of ideas.
Richard, bamboozle would not be acceptable. This thing. Come on, Richard, think Scrabble. If you couldn't get away with it in Scrabble, you're not getting away with it here.
Valid.
Although bamboozle would be a big point in Scrabble, just
yeah,
not even important to this conversation. But I'm just looking at the letters and adding that up in my mind, going, "That's a win right there." If you can figure it out.
I'm terrible at stuff like this.
Oh.
So, did you have a favorite line, least favorite line?
Yes. Oh, sorry. I'm getting confused. So the only thing that I would have said on the least was there was a line. So the only thing that I didn't quite understand that I would have asked for just clarity on was that somehow she missed it in the struggle. But when she caught the sound, she fought harder, holding her nightgown down, clinging to the belt of her robe. Is the sound the gun?
No. So that,
because that was my only confused part, and then I'll give you my favorite.
Yeah. So I meant to mention that she could hear the sound of like the tires in the gravel.
Got it. Okay.
But
okay.
I blipped and didn't.
Got like of Gil like coming home.
Yes.
Or someone pulling. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was the only one that I thought I didn't quite know where we were heading there. Now this is the line that I loved and was just like, oh, this is so beautiful. Someday I'll write this way. And it's a bloody scene, by the way, so it's not a pretty scene, but it's a beautifully written, which is and it's several lines, so hold with me. The overhead light winked out. A shove caught her from behind. She sprawled across the floor, sliding into the kitchen cabinets, hitting them hard. In the dim glow of the moon, she could just make out the shape of his face, but she couldn't be sure. That whole little section I was there. I could see it. I was feeling it. I was in that moment. I felt myself hitting the cabinet and being like, wait a minute, which, by the way, the thing I loved about that was you'd be kind of stunned from A, being shoved from behind, be flying up against a cabinet, so you would be a little discombobulated. And I think you would kind of look at your assailant, but then have that question of like, am I sure that's what I saw? Like, it's all happening like this, right? So I love that, because I thought you captured it and brought us along. I always love your prose.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Stole as a fur shawl instead of stealing. Oh, okay. Oh, I love that. Okay. Cherry. Good. I do love a good stole.
Ooh.
Yeah. So those were my favorite. That was my favorite. I thought that was, but again, there are lots of points where you have really beautiful prose. The lights twinkling, talking about the driving to the next store, his going to Gil's house or his friend's house. That's a beautiful line too. I mean, you've got several in there that are just stunning.
That I have to say, that's from Natalie's feedback for me, because I would use like blinking. I would have said blinking, and there was honestly 3 times where I had blinking in there and I had to go back and change it to a different word. But just having the awareness from the feedback that she gave me was like, oh, got it. I need to like pay special attention. How many times am I using this word or these kinds of words back to back to back?
Well, and I like winked out. I don't think you used twinkle, but you could. You know what I mean? The lights twinkled, or you know what I'm saying? There's lots of different. But that's exactly, that's great. I love that.
Awesome.
Bye, Sam. Good to see you.
So let me get in here. And so I've only been checking the messages on this computer, not this computer. And there have been 298 messages just pinging back and forth since we've started. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Loving
Y'all have been real into it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump over and read Barrett's story, and we'll chit chat about that. And then we'll get into the ones that have been sent to us.
Cool.
So first of all, I love the title of your story, A Snap Decision. Andrea's feet swung out of bed and met the cold of the bamboo floor. She reached for the hook behind her closet door for her fluffy robe. Slipping her arms in, she pulled it snug before tying it tightly around her waist. It was a clear day, but Andrea's mind was anything but. She had a huge mess to clean and not much time to do it before sunrise. She padded down the hallway and listened outside the bedroom of her son and let out a sigh of relief that he hadn't woken yet. Making her way downstairs, Andrea tried to think through everything on her to-do list that morning. The list was always a mile long, and she always felt lucky to get her son on the bus in time. She would need to make quick work of getting her husband's body into the trunk of her car, or else their neighbors would probably take issue with her husband lying dead in the backyard. He had it coming, considering all the times he had fooled around on her before, but this time when he bragged about his cheating instead of smoothing it over, she chose to shove him off the deck. He landed in such a way that his neck snapped instantly, and there was something satisfying about the sound to Andrea. She'd never slept so soundly. Those sleepless nights wondering where he was were behind her now. Such a weight lifted. The cold air sent a shiver down her spine when she stepped outside to drag him to the car. She needed to make quick work of this, or else she might freeze. He was heavier than she anticipated, but she lugged him around the house and into the garage. It took a few tries to get him up and into the trunk, but eventually she got him in before latching it securely. "Hey, Mom, what's for breakfast?" Andrea turned, felt the blood rush to her face, causing her to blush. Had her son caught her? Surely not. He wouldn't be so calm. "Whatever you like, sweetie. Give me a hug and we'll get breakfast started," Andrea said as she regained her composure. Mason flung his arms open wide and ran to hug her. She squeezed him tightly and for a moment forgot her husband and Mason's father was piled into the trunk of the car. Nothing she couldn't solve in her studio. Nothing she couldn't solve in her studio. A kiln is good for so much more than pottery.
Lots of lines that we clunked over, so I have quite a few things to clean up. And quick work, I used twice.
I I'm very stuttery, and I did not notice the quick work. I noticed husband's husband.
Yes.
But also some of it is alliteration, and I stutter sometimes, so that does make it a little like I feel like some of those read much more smoothly in my head because of the alliteration, which I love. I don't think you should change that. Yeah, that was what I had. The one that I wasn't sure where you were going with it.
Mm-hmm.
The list was a mile long, and she always felt lucky to get her son on the bus in time.
I forgot bus. That was a line I added because I didn't have bus.
Gotcha.
I didn't have bus, so I was like, that was my last word, and I went, uh-oh. So that was a tack line. Sorry.
Well, that's good, and that makes sense because I think that line needed a bit more.
Yeah.
Which I don't feel like I would usually say.
Yeah.
Because it seems like the list was a mile long, period. She always felt lucky to get her son on the bus in time, period. Those are two separate sentences. So it needs a little bit to blend it together to be like, how do these relate to each other? Even though we all know.
Yeah.
And then, the only other thing I had marked was husband and husband. Yes. But I did like that part because I think it's funny, the idea that she was so unbothered that she let his ass lay in the grass
overnight,
went and had a good sleep and was like, I'll deal with his ass in the morning. Like, I don't, I'm done. It has been enough.
It was a cold night. She was like, no, not today.
Yeah, I like that. And then she has that, like, when I read that, hey mom, what's for breakfast? Ooh, I about panicked for her. I'm like, did he see? Does he know? I was worried, especially since she goes to check on him before she does all this, and it's not light out yet.
Right.
So, like, she doesn't have to worry about the neighbors seeing her. And I was like, ooh.
Are you caught? And then what I had to Google was whether you could actually kill someone in a kiln.
I've seen the inside of one of them, and
it turns out you can.
And what a brilliant idea, which is actually my favorite line. I think she couldn't solve in her studio. A kiln is good for so much more than pottery. I was just like, yes, I love that one.
And they never heard from him again.
That's fabulous.
He disappeared, or we just don't know where he went.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, once you like seal your kiln, you're not like it's done. It's like closed for 12 hours or something like that. A long time.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. But I did learn you can't put it directly on the elements, friends. So should you want to end someone in a kiln, they can't touch the actual elements of the kiln or else it makes a mess. So.
Oh.
That was on the Pottery Association's website. So.
Stop it right now.
100%. Totally appreciate when you Google through and you're like, oh, you've been asked this before.
That is hilarious. I love that tidbit.
Yeah.
That is so good.
No, I love the feedback. You're totally right. That line needed work. There was a couple other, though, that when you were reading, that when I was reading along, they could have been better. Because I have a tendency to do the run-ons. I have a bad case of the run-on sentences. So, and
I think it's just about using them strategically because they're not necessarily bad, and it depends on what kind of pace you're trying to set.
Yeah.
And which is interesting because sometimes short sentences can make the story move faster.
Right.
Sometimes they can make it move slower, but also if you have like short, long, it condenses it all.
Yeah.
And then the long sentence pulls it all together. So you could do long and then short, and kind of go the other way around.
Yeah.
So, I think it's good. And it's really just, for those sentences, just look at how you want your pacing to be. Yeah. But I really liked it. And I liked that you scared me as a reader. Because I find that I don't usually get scared or nervous when I'm reading like I would for a TV show. If I'm reading a book, I'm like,
yeah, they'll live.
Yeah. But with that, where like maybe her small son just caught her, I was like, oh no.
We're going to daddy. He's taking a nap in the trunk. He's fine. By the way, Cherry, excellent note on that comma. Commas make a difference, and that is a place where it would have made a difference.
Ooh, yeah.
Perfection. Truth.
Yes, I do. That is. I didn't even see that.
Truth.
I'm loving it.
Well, what about Richard? Are you ready to take on Richard's?
Yes, let's get in here.
I haven't read it yet, Richard, so.
Ooh, okay. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Prompt before sunrise. Oh, I like that. I like the way that you formatted this.
Me too.
I could really take some cues from that.
Oh, I see our names in this.
Are they? Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Here I go. The bus hurtled down the motorway, pushing through the indigo night to its destination. It was empty but for one traveler, the same traveler who always took the night bus, wherever it happened to go. Tonight it was no different for the transient. The bus pulled into the gritty gray bus station out of the summer's night and into the cathedral of diesel fumes and lost souls, both of which seeped into the very ether of this place, adding molecular stains to the tired and tepid concrete. A door hissed in a token effort. The driver got in a token. Oh my gosh. A door hissed in a token effort. The driver got out of his worn seat with a wheeze, and he walked down the bus, the body of the vehicle swaying gently with the inertia. Right off, he said to the figure on the back bench seat, "Wherever you're going, you can't stay here again." The figure moved, and a pair of eyes emerged from underneath a filthy beanie and an equally filthy bush of hair. "I said off," the bus driver repeated. The transient hummed, the words malformed in a splutter of incoherence. The driver reached down and pulled. "Boys at the depot have been talking about you for... Hey, don't I know you?" The transient blinked, dewy eyes meeting the driver's quizzical look. "No," he motioned. He motioned to walk away past the driver and out of the bus. "No, wait, I'm sure I... Hey!" The transient gave the driver a shove. "No need for that, pal." The transient lurched forward away from the clawing grip of the officious driver and leapt off the bus. They were never this inquisitive. Maybe all the coverage in the newspaper, in the media, on Facebook. Rounding a corner, he saw the first of the illuminated billboards. It has his face, or at least what used to be his face, emblazoned in the digital pixels burning right into his retinas. "Have you seen this man missing? Arthur Barrett, CEO of Infortex, wanted for questioning." Yeah, right, Arthur thought. Questioning until I give them the answer they wanted, which was never going to come. Then he peered closer, pushing back the hoodie. The picture was old, all right. Clean-shaven, smooth and presentable, wearing an expensive, perfectly laundered suit, with coiffed and styled hair, just as he'd demanded. Nothing like he looked now, a wreck, as far from that image as he could manage. He leant into the poster a bit further. "If you see Mr. Barrett, do not approach. Contact police. Individual is dangerous and a person of interest to the authorities." Arthur felt a blush from under his scraggly beard. Dangerous was a stretch, but he wasn't about to do time for whoever set him up. Whatever they'd found, it wasn't him. Someone had set him up, and he was determined, his face steely, at looking at the visage to find out who it was. This time last week, he was on a beach in Malibu with nothing but the Egyptian cotton robe around his taunt frame and sleeping in a hammock between bamboo trees. Everyone's dream of an idyllic lifestyle was his reality. Until the past week, until he'd been told to give it to those who saw joyously enraged as the order of the day. But they had power while he had money. He learned they were not the same. He'd never wished to brag, but his enemy saw every word he'd uttered as a brag, and he couldn't help but laugh. The freeze on his assets had made his descent so palpable was a ruse. He always had a way. When he patted his back, the bag, shit, he cursed, and moved away skittishly. Lingering so long in one place, especially next to a digital board in a public place, wasn't wise. There was hardly a crowd to disperse into, and a pool of anonymity to be absorbed into. Turning, he saw a couple of policemen approach the bus he'd scampered from. In the doorway, the driver, bloody Gobsworth bastard, handed the bag to another man in a high-vis typical. Arthur spat. Any man thinks he has power if he puts on some cheap high vest. I'm not sure what that is. Is that like the reflective vest?
I think so.
Okay. It was best to move, and quickly, but the driver clocked him. That's him, he mouthed, inaudible in the distance. The three outside the bus turned. The police moved straight away, but so did Arthur. He glanced over his shoulder, then he fumbled, falling over the litter bin with a clatter. Smooth, Arthur thought. Real bloody smooth. He turned. Whatever they found in the bag, it didn't matter. All circumstantial. And it could be used to prove his innocence. All he needed was a phone. Hey you, one of the coppers called. Mr. Barrett, stop. We just need to... Arthur looked forward, seeing the night outside, street lamps, the occasional car, the occasional lost soul like himself. It was a clear shot. A wry glint of determination cracked across his face. Not tonight, he thought, lunging into a run. Behind him, the murmur of shouts erupted into shouts from the two policemen. Freedom, or at least a few more moments of it, seemed just 100 or so feet away. Arthur ran, closing his eyes and exulting. He'd be a free man before sunrise, or he'd be at the mercy of his enemies.
So first of all, the shade. So much shade, Richard, and I'm here for it. What did you think of the story? I mean, clear beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah, I was not ready for that, and I want to know what he was framed with, and who framed him, and why.
Well, and did this feel to you a little bit like we're seeing the antagonist's story? Like, I kept having this feeling like this is a horrible character, but in this story, they're the hero of this story.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's very, so I had this vibe of like that, Arthur had like embezzled money from people's pensions fund, like something horrible that like, that is awful. But to him is like, meh, I was doing what I needed to do.
Well, that and the note about him having all the money and them having all the power.
Yes.
Like he was oblivious to the danger of his actions at the time until his accounts were frozen. And then he was like, shit.
Yes.
What do I do now?
Yes. Well, and I kept having that thought of like, the accounts are like, the way I could see that going is the other way too, where, okay, they froze his accounts, but did that really stop him? Because he probably has accounts in the Caymans and in Switzerland. And if he really is the CEO of one of those companies, trust and believe he's stashed some of that money away somewhere they can't get to it. Yeah. And so the freedom is just a matter of getting outside of the reach of the law's arms where he is. And then he can go on and live that life.
The part that didn't make sense to me, given that, is, okay, how long ago did this happen, and why has he been sleeping on the bus this whole time instead of getting out of Dodge?
That was my question, too. Like, it must have been a quick, I was envisioning it like a quick turn, right? But then what confused me, and this is where I felt like it was shade at the person who hasn't had their hair cut and wore beanies for a long time. I don't know why that hit so close to home. But anyway, I was sitting there thinking to myself, but that little note told me that there was an amount of time that had passed, right? Like
Yes.
several months or something. So yes, that would have been like, if this were something I were sending notes back on, that would have been the only time jump part that didn't quite sync up to me. Because I think it would have been better for me, and you tell me what you think as a reader, but I would have wanted it to be really close in time. Like, that wanted sign went up within a day or two of when everything shifted and changed, because it would give me more tension, more
Well,
like.
yes. Well, I mean, there's a couple things that don't quite jive there. One is that he's marking the change between his facial features and the billboard, but also the way it was written, it sounded like his assets were frozen when he was on the beach in Malibu.
Oh, yes. I didn't even catch that. Good.
So how did he get back? Why did he come back? Why didn't he just make a run for it from Malibu? Or because now he's wearing a hoodie, and I don't see you wearing a hoodie and a beanie in Malibu.
Unless you're just on the run, right? Unless you're like you're bouncing from place to place to place.
Yeah,
and it's part of like your disguise.
And if he is still in the Malibu area, then why is he hanging out in the buses? And everyone's familiar with him.
Not see any buses. I saw a lot of nice cars. I saw a lot of nice homes. I did not see buses.
So yeah, and then if that is the case, though, or has he gone cross country? Because I mean, I don't know if he's gone cross country because he didn't notice the billboard being put up, but then the bus attendants recognize him and have been talking about him. So it also kind of makes it sound like I have questions.
Like I said, I love the story. I love the idea. I love the tension of it. Love the idea of someone evil, like seeing someone evil as the hero. Like I love that idea.
Yes.
And seeing why people do the things they do. Love the idea of them being on the run. Love the idea of us as the readers not being sure whether they're good or bad, and whether we should be rooting for them or not. And yeah, I loved a lot of those things. And the shade, what can I say? Arthur Barrett sounds like a dick.
he do though. And also, I have a character in one of my other stories named Arthur Barrett. So
do you really? That's
I do. And so here's what I love about the story. I love the premise.
Me too.
I love the characterization.
Me too.
And I love the almost night bus vibe of it.
Yep.
I thought that was really, really fun.
Same. I'll never have the vocabulary Richard has.
Okay, so this is something that the in the comments y'all can't see, but there's a distinctive font that is used whenever Arthur is thinking something.
Loved that.
I really like that font. I don't know what it's called, but I really like that font. It also lent itself to his characterization.
Agreed.
And that was very clever.
Agreed. And I love that. I do the italics on when I'm doing internal for characters, when I'm writing novels and stuff. I haven't seen it in a short story, but I love it. It's like, why wouldn't I do that? Like, that's a great idea. So yeah.
Well, it's also a way to increase clarity of the story without increasing word count.
Yes. Yeah. True.
So I think for flash fiction and short stories, that is fantastic.
Oh, I think you nailed it. If you were going for Jack Reacher, is that the Lee Child series? Do I have the wrong series? If it is, then yes, I think you nailed that.
Yeah.
I think that's Lee Child, but correct me. And boat names. Yes. Yeah. Concur.
I really like that.
Me too.
It was Night Bus Noir. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm loving that.
Yeah. Really good piece, Richard. 855 words and that detailed and in depth. I mean, you all see I struggle to get 500 down, and they sure don't sound that pretty.
I mean, all of mine are less than 500 words, pretty much.
Same.
Yeah. Sure. I really liked that. I'm checking to see if I got any other one, and I did.
Oh,
this
good.
one, I got 2, I think, from earlier. So I have got one from. Okay. So I've got Yeah, I got one from Cherry, and I also have one from Natalie, but these are both from the previous
Oh, the previous
prompt.
Okay. Let's
So
I can probably only make it through one more quick one before I have to bounce, everyone. I'm sorry. I had a commitment at 11. So I'll
yeah,
have to go in like
absolutely.
5 minutes, but I definitely want to hear one before we
Yeah.
go.
I will read. I will read Cherry's. Natalie said I didn't have to read hers. I think she may be posting a vlog on that. So
Cool.
check back on Natalie's channel for that, and I'll read
Well,
Cherry's.
yay, Cherry.
As the sky blushed pink, the world started to slow. Soon enough, it would don its starry robe and drown the world in its darkness. Out in the middle of nowhere, where none watched, it could brag about itself all it wanted. The ground would start to freeze, playing reflection with the moonlight. The bamboo would accompany the wind in a frenzy of clattering. The water that had been smooth and clear would start to dance to the music. The wolves added lyrics to the revelry. A cougar shoved sharp claws into the frost bed, adding a beat to the number. Around the planet, all living things celebrated nature, who had given them all life in the first place.
Love that. So that was this last prompt.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
It's beautiful, and it's very visual.
Yes. Cinematic.
Yes. I got Lion King vibes from it.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like it's a musical, but there are no people. That's the other thing that I really like, is that there are no people in it.
Same. And was there dialogue? It
No
was
dialogue.
that's what I thought. I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really cool. And said you couldn't fit bus anywhere. I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah.
Honestly.
No.
So,
I mean, but like, you didn't need bus in here.
No. But I loved that. I loved that it wasn't dialogue, all internal, and yeah, made me feel feels.
Yeah.
I like the way you used robe. I like the way some of you used some of the words.
Yes. I think the
I
creativity around that is
me too.
really cool. And it's engaging, because it's like, ooh, I've never thought of it that way before, but I can still see it.
Exactly. I loved that. I loved that. Cherry, was there anything you wanted specific feedback on? Because that would have been my top line.
Yeah. Yeah, same as these.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if there's a line that I'm like,
Yeah, it was.
But no.
Good.
Now, the water that had been smooth and clear would start to dance to the music. Is that referring to snowfall? Because that's how I took it.
Okay. I can see that. No, I just wanted to share. Okay, well, listen, I'm thrilled you did. It's rainbows. It's very rainbows and sunshine. Well,
Yeah.
compared to our murder, yes. Waves.
We're like,
Cherry meant waves. That was waves.
oh, okay.
Okay, I can see that.
Gotcha. Yeah,
yes.
I was a little confused when I thought it was snowflakes. I'm like, why is it smooth? And yeah, but that makes more sense, and I like it. It.
I loved that. That was really, really well done, Cherry.
Well, this was so much fun. Thank you to everyone who shared your stories and let us read them. That was fabulous.
I'm sorry I'm a dull and had to cut us a little short today, friends.
No, not at all. I actually have I have to get ready, because I'm doing an event this afternoon, and they were like, "Can you make it a little earlier?" And I was like, fine. So same seas. But y'all, next week we will be on Natalie's channel starting at 9 a.m. We do the same thing. Y'all get to help select the second prompt. So don't forget to be there. If you are looking for a link to Natalie's channel, check under channels on my page. And we'll find her there. Barrett is there as well. I will update the description. I will add timestamps, and you'll be able to go back to where each story is read, the guest stories, and the ones that were sent in to us as well. And I will also add Barrett's links, because if you don't follow Barrett, why don't you follow Barrett?
It can be really annoying, y'all. That's why. That toxic positivity.
Would you like to do a quick outro before?
Yeah, all I'm going to say is this was so much fun. I have been stalking this show for some time. So if you guys haven't caught on to this, it's a ton of fun. And if you're looking for a place to spend your Saturday doing flash fiction, I cannot think of a better place than with Chandra and Natalie. So definitely come and check this out and sit in the hot seat because it's fun. It's not as scary as you think it would be. And you're going to enjoy it, I promise. So yeah, that's it.
Also, Flash Fiction Live, second Tuesday of every month. Send your submissions to Barrett by the 1st.
Yes.
Alrighty. With that, thank you all so much for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Maybe. Fucking technology.
I love seeing Dobby get up from behind you like, is it time?
I mean, it really is, though. And I don't know how to technology, so.
Okay. Oh, no, that was Piper. Never mind. Sorry, Piper. Oh, boy.
He's over here.
That was a complete misjudged which animal was going with.
Meh. Same attitude, though.
Same vibes.
All right, for real this time. See y'all.
Bye, everybody.